What is going on, YouTubeverse? John Stanek from Johnny Radio here, bringing you another Top 5 on this glorious Top 5 Friday, and I'm so excited to be talking to you about a video that I'm kind of updating or redoing that I did about 4 years ago on the channel. My top 5 artists that have been snubbed by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And, this happens. We actually did a Say What video on this last week where I talked about the new 2023 inductions. So I thought this was a good time to update the list. And since one of the picks from 4 years ago has been nominated and gotten inducted, thank God. That's Tina Turner. Well-deserved and about time. I figured this is a good time to redo the list. There are also several artists that back when I did it 4 years ago didn't realize that they also hadn't been nominated. So I had to add a few. Had to bump one off, which is just an honorable mention at this point. That's the Guess Who. How are they still not nominated? I have no idea. But there's several honorable mentions, but I'm just going to talk about my personal top 5. So let's get into it. At number 5. Peter Frampton. I mean, come on, man. Just from his guitar capabilities alone, this guy should be in there. Frampton Comes Alive, one of the biggest selling live albums of all time, and in my personal opinion, one of the greatest live albums ever recorded. I mean, this guy's got forget about, songs that he did covers of. He has some amazing originals as well. Baby, I Love Your Way, Show Me the Way. I think he's really underrated as a vocalist as well. And it's just mind-blowing to me that someone of his stature, especially, even if it was lightning in a bottle in the mid-70s, he still sells out huge concerts whenever he performs. He's not performing as much anymore since he has now, unfortunately, a degenerative disease where he can't play guitar as well as he used to. So get the man in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, come on, at least nominate him. But yeah, that's my number 5. Now at number 4. Joe Cocker, another one that was on my list previously from 4 years ago, and another one that I'm still screaming, like, how is this possible that Joe Cocker's not in there? Now, I know, unlike Frampton, who did have a lot of originals, Joe Cocker was almost strictly cover songs throughout his career, but some of the best covers ever made. I mean, his version of the Beatles with a little help from my friends is better than the original, in my opinion. Feeling All Right is a staple, like just an incredible version of that song. There's just so many amazing songs. And then, you've got You Are So Beautiful, just one of the most simplistic yet beautiful songs of all time. Even in the 80s, he was like at the top of his game, just doing some, one of the greatest singers to ever come out of rock music, and just amazing to me that he has not been nominated, and that's just my number 4. So now at number 3, Nick Drake. It has just recently been brought to my attention that Nick Drake's never been nominated, and I gotta tell you, like, this one really makes me upset because it's like, sure, for a lot of us, myself included, I had no idea who Nick Drake was until, maybe in the last 10 years when, of course, Pink Moon was used for a commercial, and a lot of people found him that way. Also, One of These Things First was in the Garden State soundtrack. That's how I came to know his music. But once you come to know his music, it's like, come on, man. He was just incredible for that little run of 3 albums that he had before his unfortunate, just so sad death in the early 70s. But oh my God, man. I mean, for those 3 albums alone, all of which are great, several of which are in my top 100 albums of all time, he's just incredible. I can't even put into words what this guy means to me. I mean, you don't want to put him into a box of just folk music. He had jazz influence. I mean, he influenced countless guitar players, just the way he played his acoustic guitar, some of the alternate tunings that he did, and his soothing voice, songs like Northern Sky, just gorgeous, gorgeous music, and can't believe he's never been nominated. So now, at number 2, Frank Sinatra. Oh my God, first of all, I didn't realize he wasn't already in there. And now that I know that he's not, it's just unbelievable. And then before you say, yes, we're talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I'm going to be talking about this same issue with my number 1, which has not changed since last time, if you know who that is. But, okay, so Frank Sinatra essentially precedes rock and roll, right? He was big, came into his heyday in the 40s and really big in the 50s and also, throughout his entire life. But he didn't exactly do the style of rock and roll, but it almost, the big band swing era was a predecessor of rock and roll in many ways. I mean, when you listen to just some of the huge sounds of Fly Me to the Moon, those whisper to a scream dynamics, and just the way he phrased things. I mean, he was such an influence on everybody as a vocalist. And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame needs to be consistent because, look, Billie Holiday's in there, so why the hell would Frank Sinatra not be in there? I mean, come on, man. And a lot of people are, say in regards to him that it has to do with his attitude and he rubbed many people in the industry the wrong way and whatever. But it's not like he doesn't deserve it from a musical standpoint. Just one of the most iconic vocalists and musicians of all time. So, hello. All right. So now at number 1, John Coltrane. Same issue as Frank Sinatra. I've talked about this before. I've mentioned it many times. I even mentioned it on my Say What video last week. Okay, so we're talking about jazz now, which the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has obviously opened up to basically every genre under the sun. They're bringing in hip hop, they're bringing in country, and fine. For me, the more the merrier. I think everything has an element of rock and roll to it. Even, some of these genres that preceded rock and roll, like jazz. And again, if you're going to be consistent, guys, you've inducted Miles Davis. Why Miles Davis, but not Coltrane? I mean, to me, Coltrane is even better at his instrument and has more albums that personally speak to me than Miles did. I don't get it. So maybe some of you can explain to me in the comments below what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame even is anymore. Some of you, I think someone just recently commented on my Say What video from last week, it should just be called the Music Hall of Fame. Because yeah, they're bringing in all these different genres. So, but if that's the case, then get on the stick, guys. You got to get Coltrane and Sinatra in there, for God's sake. Also, everyone else I mentioned, also the Guess Who as an honorable mention. So many other honorable mentions of years gone by. I'm glad that artists like Soundgarden and Rage Against the Machine are getting their due from the 90s. But guys, there's a ton of stuff from decades before that still is not in. And that just makes me very sad. So I had to do this updated list, but let me know what you guys think of my list. Let me know what your top 5 would be. If you're so bold, leave me a top 10. Because, there's just so many aggravating omissions and we have to talk about them. But guys, we got top 5s here every Friday. Album reviews. The Great 28 is ongoing as we speak. So much more. Thank you for watching. And as always, Viva La Vinyl. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and be sure to ring the bell for notifications so you can always see great quality content like you're seeing on the screen right now. Thank you so much for supporting Johnny Radio, and I'll see you soon.